Hey my friend, welcome to your chordal guitar lesson of the week. Today I'm going to show you how to play with chords in an unusual way, and it's wonderful to play with ambient music. So it's called chordioids. What are chordioids? What the heck is this? It's just a partial chord, a fragment of chord. In essence, it's a chord that lacks the information we need to correctly categorize this chord. So for example, the usual way to build a chord is to stack thirds. So if I take any major scale, like the C major scale, I could put a number on each of those notes, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. And I just have to stack the odd numbers of this chord, right? 1, 3, 5, 7. And if I stack all of them, I get a C major 7. And this is usually how we build chords, right? And this is how any chord you know are built, right? So a chordioid tells us that it's a fragment of chord and we lack some information to categorize that chord. So we could take a chord like this and remove some important stuff in that chord in order to make a chordioid out of it. So what is the most important note of that chord? It is the third. Why? Because the third tells us if the chord is major or minor. And there is a big difference in function and mood between both of those chords, right? So if I omit to play the third in this chord, that would be considered a chordioid, right? Let me show you an example. If I play something like this. When you heard this, did you hear that it was an unusual chord, that it didn't sound like a regular chord? Probably not. And what was important in the chords I play is that I omitted to play the third in both of those chords. So that should have been a C major 7, but I just played C, G, and B. And I omitted to play the E. Same on my G chord here. I played G, D, and F sharp. And I omitted to play my B, which would be my third. And this would be very, very hard to believe that when you heard that, you filled the note that was missing in your head in that way, like this. That would be very hard to believe, right? You probably filled the note in your head like this. Right? So when I omitted the third, it was still implied that these were major 7 chords. You can almost hear it in your head because that's strongly implied. So when I play a chord that's made of 1, 5, and 7 and I omit the third, even if it's an important note, most of the times our harmony is implied, so I don't really consider this a chordioid in the sense that it's not a partial chord. It's not just a fragment of chord that we don't understand what it is, right? So in order to get a chordioid, I'm going to omit the third and the fifth of my chord and play with intervals that are most unusual, like the second, the fourth, the sixth, or the seventh, and any combination of that. So when you play that, it doesn't feel like it's harmonically easy to explain what this chord is. So let me make some examples. Let's say that I start on E, just to go out of C major for once. So my root is E. My scale is E major. And now I want to build chordioids out of this. I can start to build my regular E triad, right? 1, 3, 5. That would be the usual way to play E major. But now let's say that the notes on my ring finger and my index right now, I would play them one string above for both of them. So now instead of fretting the fourth and third strings, I'm fretting the third and second strings, and I'm keeping my pinky on the E note on the fifth string, seventh fret. So now it sounds like this. Really cool chord, right? And if we count the notes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have the 6 and the 7. So it's 1, 6, 7. So when you see a chord that's made of 1, 6, 7, you cannot explain it with it's a sus2 or sus4, or it doesn't make sense to categorize that chord in any way. So that's what I call a chordioid. And I find that it sounds so cool because that's a whole different kind of sound, right? And what I like to do most of the times is that now I have my natural sixth and my natural seventh. So I could have a flat 6 and a flat 7 by going one fret below. And then I can refret it and play it like this. So now I could play both one after another. Very mysterious voicing, right? I could do it in many other ways. If I start back from my regular triad, I could swap my index with my ring finger, and then I would get this. So now I get 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 6. And it wouldn't make sense to call this chord a E major sus2 omit third omit 5 add 6. It just wouldn't make sense, right? It's just a fragment of chord. We cannot categorize this really. And once again, if I shift that one fret below, I would get a flat second and a flat 6, which gives out a great friction, right? Cool sound. So if I take that little motif here, I could once again take my index and ring and place them 1 and 2 strings above for each of them. So now I am playing my index on the 4th fret of the 2nd string and my ring finger on the 6th fret of the 1st string. And I keep my E note. So now that's spicy. So with that, I get the 7th, and I get a sharp 4 or a sharp 11th since it's an octave higher. So once again, I can do the same and shift them after. So now I get a flat 7 and a natural 4th. So you see, there are many ways that I can experiment with different chord structures, and now I can play with all of them like I want. So it's very interesting to make motifs with arpeggios like this, and the harmony is really, really cool. I find that we hear so much regular triads that we get fed up a little bit of them. So if I hear something like this, it sounds like it's too good, like it's too perfect like this. When you have some more interesting intervals, you see things like this. So in that case, I was playing the sharp 4 and the second. So that was 1, 2, sharp 4. Great chordioid here. So you see the point. You omit the third and the fifth, which are regularly there in your chord. You start from your root and you stack some unusual intervals on top. There are many possibilities. You could do 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 6, 1, 4, 7, 1, 6, 7. I mean, there are many things you can do with this, and you are going to play out of the box with your harmony a little bit. And I find that it's much more interesting to create some arpeggiated or motif patterns when you play ambient guitar music. So thank you very much for watching. If you are new here, I have a gift for you. I have a free course on my website on ambient guitar chords. You can get it by clicking on the first link in the description box. This is something that I offer to everyone for thanking them to watch my YouTube videos. In that free course, you get 35 minutes of videos with 4 different videos. You can download chord charts and exercises so you can practice by yourself. So this is my gift to you. You can take it by clicking first link in the description box. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, au revoir.